address something. Okay? Let's watch something together.
I just got back to my office after listening to the State of the Union with Joe Biden. And part of the time we couldn't really understand what he was saying as he was yelling at people, yelling through the applause and mumbling through his words. Some of the things that we did hear didn't make any sense. Joe Biden claimed to care about the border and talked about fentanyl deaths, which is the #1 cause of young people ages 18 to 45, but yet has no plan to secure the border. And frankly, we all know he doesn't care about the border because Joe wants the border wide open.
So let's address this claim of hers that Biden doesn't care about the fentanyl issue. I find it interesting that one of his targeted messages when addressing fentanyl was packages coming through, that they need to be better scanned, checked, and screened as they're coming into the United States from foreign nations. For instance, like China, which is the #1 provider of fentanyl through mailing packages. Not the border, as Miss Marjorie here would like you to believe. Now, our encounters of immigrants at the border has increased, but there's two types of responses: apprehensions, which is through Title 8, and expulsions, which is through Title 42, which was used predominantly due to COVID. In fact, Trump enacted it because of COVID regulations. Now, what's funny to me is the party that insists that COVID is completely over is angry that we're not enacting Title 42 more often, as we did during the earlier stages when, of course, COVID was at its all-time high and Trump was using it as an excuse to expel immigrants as soon as they reach the border. Now we're actually doing apprehensions through Title 8, where these people are given legal process to possibly either migrate here or return back to their country. It's almost like the borders aren't open. Let's see what else she had to say.
Joe Biden did talk a lot about communism, though, and controlling private companies, and I think that's something that should concern every single American and every single business owner.
Wow, that's interesting, seeing that, Governor Abbott is currently announcing a statewide plan of banning the use of TikTok, a private company not allowing his constituents to have access to. Or the fact that Marjorie's favorite, the former guy, also did a lengthy speech where he implied that if social media is not willing to bend the knee to him and control moderation as he sees fit, he'll no longer allow access to United States citizens. Now, by the way, none of this is actually communism because Marjorie doesn't know what communism is. However, it is authoritarian dictatorship, aka fascism. Now that she supports.
Something Joe Biden did lie about. He didn't know what he was talking about a lot of the time, but he did frankly lie. Talking about Republicans and Social Security and Medicare. We have not talked about cutting Social Security and Medicare. Joe Biden has been claiming that we're going to cut Social Security and Medicare.
Yet Republicans do believe every 5 years Medicare and Social Security should be reevaluated and placed on a chopping block. Just ask Rick Scott. It's on his plan.